Russell, Bill Russell is the president of the Lake Norman Chamber. No secret. I sell businesses throughout the Charlotte metro area, and I deal with all of the chambers in the area, but it's just absolutely hands down the best run operation and organization for not only small but very large organizations as well. And it starts with the leadership at the top, and Bill Russell has been running Lake Norman Chamber for well over 20 years. Did I get is it like 22, Bill? What's the actual number, buddy?
Well, this is 25.
25 years.
Yeah, I'm well into my 25th year with Lake Norman Chamber.
And thank you, Bill, so much. It really is such a treat. And I know you hate when I say this, but you are my mentor when it comes to politics.
You're going to blame me for that.
I am your mentee when it comes to politics. And one of the things you taught me, I hate it. I hate that I have to say it today, but it is so true, and you taught me this. Us small business people, we have to engage and be involved in local and state politics, whether we like it or not. I know there's small business people out there right now saying, I ain't got time for this. I got a business to run. I don't have time for this kind of stuff. Bill, talk to that, because clearly you have taught me over the years that local and state politics really matter and can change the outcome of our businesses.
Well, actually, politics is relationships. It's all about relationships, and again, you and deals. And you made a deal this morning with your wife. I'm sure that's politics right there. But absolutely, you've got to. Advocacy is extremely important, and we're going to talk about that in a little while, about something that Charlotte City leaders are thinking about doing that could really impact our local business community in Lake Norman, and we're going to get on talking about that later on in the show. But yeah, politics is extremely important, and we all have to be vested in it, whether it's a local, county, state, or a federal issue.
Right. First of all, Nakia, make sure that the Facebook is live and the sound is on, because I'm getting people saying that they cannot hear. So I want to make sure they can do that. So Bill, I wanted you on the show because I was a little angry, right?
Not at me, right?
No, although that's happened. But certainly that has happened.
Yes, yes.
I don't know if you know this or not, Bill. But listen, I told my wife I'm not cutting my hair until Donald Trump is president again. You understand that?
Oh,
so I got a whole lot of product in my hair to keep it together, and also I am absolutely not cutting my hair until Jesus Christ brings back Rush Limbaugh. Now I want to know, how long did it take for Lazarus to come back from the dead? How long do I got to wait for that? I'm just curious.
I don't really know the answer to that question, but I think you're going to be waiting a little while for both of those things, I think.
We joke about it, right? And my brother tells me I am no longer a true patriot because I don't own a shotgun, and I am no longer willing to go for a reinsurgence again, to try and place Donald Trump in place. So certainly politics have changed and has polarized people in all directions.
Oh, no question.
Now let's talk about a political issue that I wanted to talk about, which is this new tax that's being proposed, because it is scary to start polarizing a true concept that is either good or bad for the area. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, right now Charlotte City leaders are talking about a transit tax that would be imposed on our sales tax, a half-cent sales tax increase in Mecklenburg County to pay for transit. We in Lake Norman have always supported transit, but right now is the absolute worst time we could be talking about a sales tax increase that imposed upon businesses. Businesses, Joe, that are struggling. You see it every day. You talked about small businesses that are barely hanging on. Day before yesterday, the governor said, okay, we're going to lift some restrictions on businesses, but they're not completely lifted. Yes, he took away the moratorium that was in place, but bars are still only 30% occupancy. Restaurants are still just 50% occupancy. You can only have 25 people gathering indoors and 50 outdoors. So, again, we still have tremendous restrictions on businesses, barely hanging on. And we're talking about sales tax increase. And that's just on the businesses. It is the consumers that pay it. And you've got people out there that are having a hard time paying their mortgages, that are struggling. Gas prices are going back up. I don't know if you saw that this week. Dramatically rising gas prices, but utility bills, and now we're talking about increasing that. That's $150 per person increase on the year on one person in Mecklenburg County. That's a family of four. That's $600.
So, Bill, the problem I have with the timing of this, right, is and that seems to be a lot of this. You know, I get that we've got a lot of challenges going on right now. I get that. The problem I have here is the timing of this, because I know that a lot of small business people, they're not sure when and how the consumer's coming back.
Oh, that's right.
They just don't know, right? They could come in full force. I don't know. And I don't know when they're coming back and if it's going to look the same, right? And so if consumer patterns are going to change, then introducing something like a new tax in the middle of that is so difficult for small business people to be able to interpret, budget for, and plan for. And I don't know that government understands that. I don't mean, oh no, the poor business owner, he's not going to be able to afford his latte and the popcorn on Saturday at the movie. That's not what I'm talking about.
It's so insensitive. And Joe, let me tell you, you've lived in North Mecklenburg how long?
Yeah, well over 18 years.
This is a tax. 20 years ago, they said we're going to levy this tax in all of Mecklenburg County and in north of Mecklenburg, and we're going to give you a train. We're going to bring commuter rail to North Mecklenburg. 20 years later, do you have it?
Nope.
No, you got buses. That's what you got in North Mecklenburg. And what they've said, and I've said it, I called it bait and switch, because they've said, now, we're talking with Norfolk Southern. We're making great strides with Norfolk Southern to give up that O-line so you can have commuter rail. And in the middle of a Charlotte City Council meeting, Norfolk Southern said, no. Our
Which
position
is about the seventh time I've heard that.
Yeah, our position hasn't changed. They have made crystal clear that they're not going to allow their line to be used for a commuter line.
Bill, because they're using it for commerce.
They are. So, and I got to tell you this, though, Joe. Even if this were, let's just say this was 2022 or 23 or 24 down the line. Let's just say that the Charlotte City Council has gotten Norfolk Southern to absolutely agree you can use it. Is a rail line from Mooresville down to Charlotte the answer? Because most people, if you wanted to jump on, you're thinking light rail. You're thinking about being able to go to the convention center or the airport or the Coliseum or the stadium. No, you're gonna go down to the train station, and then guess what you're gonna do? You're gonna catch a bus. I don't think that that's the best use. And I said it the other day, and people kind of scoffed. I think what they ought to do is, if you really want to do something for North Mecklenburg, let us buy out the Centra contract, and then take those 2 lanes that they built, make one of them a general purpose lane, and then let the other be a toll lane tolled by the state of North Carolina, so you still have the guaranteed travel time, and your CATS buses can run up and down on that.
Well, now you just hit on where I go with this, right? And it's what frustrates me. It's not the idea that I have the problem with, right? It's the implementation of it. Listen, I've told you this. You and I've kind of sparred back and forth about this. I've got no problem with the toll lane or the managed lane concept. It is a market-driven concept. I've got no problem with the concept. The problem is the way they implemented it and the cost and the contract. That's the problem I have. The devil is in the details for business. And that's the problem that I think it's happening all over again. Not that a tax for transportation issues that may in fact help us get from point A, B, and C, but when and how you do it matters. And that's the kind of stuff that frustrates me. And I can't help but ask the question, do we have the right people making these kind of decisions?
Well, they certainly don't own a business. Because if those people making those decisions owned a business and knew the implications of the decisions they would make, they wouldn't make those decisions.
Well, not only that, but if they knew how scared and how people, small business people that I meet every single day, when they hear this, it scares them to death. Because it really does change patterns. It really does change how people are going to behave as a consumer. And I'm already trying to fight with how can I operate some kind of retail facility with probably 50%, if I'm lucky, amount of space, not because my governor wants me to do it, because the customers are just not comfortable.
You know, unfortunately, your governor was an attorney.
How come he gets to be my governor, not yours? Well, why is he my governor?
The North Carolina, North Carolina governor, he was an attorney, which was considered an essential business. Imagine that gentleman came from a background where maybe he owned movie theaters, or maybe he owned a bar, or maybe he owned a fitness center. That
well, maybe he still does, so that the bills that he's passing, his business has to honor.
You know, I can still recall we both loved Jim Bensman, and Jim Bensman served on the Cornelius Town Board that imposed very strict conservative codes. And then when he wanted to expand his business, he was like, oh, my gosh, they're making me do all of these things. I said, Jim, who imposed those rules? You did. He said, I know.
Well,
if they understood the restrictions they place on business,
yes,
the handcuffs they placed on business, the regulations they imposed on business, they wouldn't make those decisions if they were in that business.
And Bill, in a lot of those restrictions, people don't understand. They say, oh, it's just a few dollars, just an extra sidewalk when you're building a building. Well, if you got 150 feet of frontage, road frontage, right, that could be $30,000 additional construction just for a walkway. And here's the fun thing. To nothing, because the property next to you is not developed, so there is no value in spending that $30,000. And we as small business people, we watch this kind of stuff happen all the time. One of my favorite Congress women, who I'm going to talk about, is Susan Medlin. One of the best things she did was start a commission and started reducing all of the different regulations, because she was a businesswoman and she understood it's really not the $30,000 for this walkway or the trees that need to be cut down or kept or added. It's the time that it takes for everybody to approve it before I can get started that is very costly.
Did you say she was in Congress?
Did I say Congress?
I think you said Congress.
I said town commissioner. I said town commissioner.
Okay, all right, town commissioner. Yeah, she actually went into the town council because she was a business person trying to open up a business, and all of the things they were making her do. She said, this is just bizarre.
And I'm saying once you have to operate under that, it really gets challenging. And this tax at this time is very scary for small business people.
The Lake Norman Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors. And, we have a very big board. It's 24 members, and it's very diverse. And they came out and unanimously said, we're opposed to any increase in the sales tax for any reason. Transportation, healthcare, education, doesn't matter, for any reason during this economic time. This is even.
And this is just
bizarre.
Not a bunch of small business people with sour grapes. These are very large businesses as well.
Absolutely, you've got everybody from healthcare to industry to small business. But again, it is totally insensitive, and just I can't even explain how you, as a city leader, would think that this is a good time to raise taxes.
And that really is, for me as a small business guy, the timing really concerns me. The timing really scares me.
Yeah.
So, okay, Bill, so what do us small business people do, buddy, right? Because right now, I'm doing all I can do, man. I got you on the show, right? It's so what's next, right? Because there is time to stop this, correct?
Oh, absolutely. Well, first off, it has to go. The North Carolina legislature would have to agree to put it on the ballot. Now, I'm hearing that they're potentially putting this off till maybe it won't come up this November. Maybe it's the next November in 2022. And now they're touting because they know that this is a really uphill battle to push this thing right now, and they're saying maybe later on when things are better. But you know what? It's like we said a little while ago. Even when things are better, I'm not sure commuter rail works the way it did when we talked about it 20 years ago, because I really do believe we got a bigger issue, and that the bigger issue Right now, I-77 isn't congested because we still got 30% people.
Well, it
staying
hasn't
at
been
home.
completely tested yet. Right.
But I'll tell you this: we've got to do something about getting a more general purpose lane for I-77 because that is absolutely Main Street, Lake Norman.
So, how are some of the other towns on this tax? Do you know, Bill?
I do know that Cornelius, Davis, and Huntersville all are right now are resistant to it because of the timing.
Right.
So they certainly would not support it right now. But they've all really embraced commuter rail, and we've all done that. But I'm not really sure that that's the answer in 2021 the way it was in 1995.
Well, one thing's for sure, everything has changed.
Everything has changed.
So, Bill, thanks, man. I appreciate you coming on the show,
Absolutely.
talking about this. But before we go, buddy, what do you want to say to all of the small business people out there that are just, they are, I want to say struggling, but what I really see and hear is they're scared to death. They do not know what tomorrow will look like, because none of us have been through this before, right? I've taken pride for years to tell people I bought and sold, owned and operated more small businesses than anybody you're going to meet, right? And I'm sure I say it in jest, and I'm sure there are plenty of people that have done that. But the point is, been around the block a few times. I sure have not seen this before.
No, and my comment wouldn't necessarily be to the business owner. It's to the consumer. It's to this person that's staying home, maybe drinking their cup of coffee at home right now. Please support your local business. I know we get on the computer, we order from Amazon. Heck, I order from Amazon. But please go out and support your retail store. Please get back to the fitness firm when you can. Please, if you don't want to go in and eat in a restaurant, order out. Have them deliver, cater, whatever you want. Bring it to your go out there and get it and bring it home. Please support local business because the job you save may end up being your own.
Amen. Bill, thank you so much, buddy. I really
Absolutely.
appreciate it. You are listening to Local Biz Now. I am Joe Vagnone, and you just heard the man, Bill Russell, president of Lake Norman Chamber. If it's Friday morning, say it, Bill. Say it, say it, say it.
Your business matters.
You got to work on that a little bit. We'll be right back.